Greg,
Yes,
calling from the 818. How you doing?
me. I'm good. How are you?
Good. You have a question for us on This Week in Startups?
Sure, I do. So I recently graduated college, and I was fortunate enough to get a student ticket to last year's TechCrunch 50 event.
Great. How was it?
So it was amazing. I mean, between the panels and the startups who presented, I learned a lot about the startup that I plan to launch when I graduate.
Great.
And it was great. So my question is, as a bootstrapping startup, there's lots of these events that I really enjoy, and they're thousands of dollars.
Yes.
I could easily spend $50,000 on travel expenses and tickets for my partner and I.
Right.
So I want to know if you had any tricks or ideas as to how you can get involved in these events.
Sure.
Besides, obviously presenting, which in some cases you have to pay for as well.
Yeah.
Just some good ways to get involved in these events.
This is a great question. Hacking the conferences when you're an outsider, how to become an insider.
Sure.
Great question. I'll give you a couple points because I was an outsider and back in the day, in the 90s, when I was in the internet space. Didn't get invited to TED, couldn't get into these big events. And the way I went about it was two things. One, there were events that were free or low cost, like special interest groups, and you can find those online. And if you go on TechCrunch or Mashable, you'll find out about local events. There's meetup.com. And there's a whole bunch of smaller events, 30-person events, 50-person events, 100-person events, where people are talking about very specific things, whether it's databases or whatever. Go to those. Those are valuable. You'll meet sort of the street-level people who are actually building stuff and doing work in the internet space. And then you can also lobby crash other events. So this is something that's a pretty big tradition. I'm torn on it because I'm a conference producer, but people do go to major events and just hang out in the lobby. So, for example, at the D conference, if you wanted to go to the D conference that the Wall Street Journal does, you could actually hang out in the lobby at the bar and just meet people. I don't know if I advise doing that because you might get looked at as, a crasher, but a lot of people do that. Get in touch with the people who run the event. Ask if you could volunteer. Have a skill that they might like. And just say to them, hey, is there any way I could volunteer at the front desk? Or can I help with the audio-visual? Or can I hand out bags or stuff the bags at the event? I really want to come. Show an interest. Tell them why you want to come. Ask them if they'll let you volunteer for, one day and come for the second day, or volunteer in the mornings and come in the afternoons. That kind of stuff. It really does help. Every conference needs volunteers. And then if you can connect with the people who are doing the event on Twitter or Facebook and tell them your story, yes, these conference producers sometimes have a soft, spot. So you could say, listen, I'm really into Twitter. Hey, Jeff Pulver, who's running the Twitter conference in New York, and he's doing another one in London, I think. You say, hey, listen, I really love Twitter. I'm just graduated. You say, any way I can join you for the event, I'll do anything. I'll carry your bag. I'll take pictures for you. You can own the rights to the photos. Just, basically beg and offer any service you can to get in, and it might happen.
Sure.
Yeah, that's my advice.
It seems sort of counterintuitive because they have these awesome panels on how to raise money and how to fund a startup, and then they're charging thousands of dollars. So it's difficult, but that's good advice. You
have to also realize, it sounds like it's very exclusionary and stuff like that. And listen, hey, TechCrunch has a $1,000 early bird price, then it goes to $1,500, and then I think to $2,000 or something like that. It's not cheap to throw events. I'll be honest. Sure. It costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars to throw these events in some cases. Each person who comes, it costs, when you just rent a hotel, anywhere from $75 to $400 a day per each person at the event. The hotels kill you on these fees. So you just coming to the event, you have to realize costs the conference producer a couple of $100s a day, easily. And so, that's why people have created events like bar camps that are hosted at, somebody just said this in the chat room, but you go to a bar camp and, then as you get going in your career, you can afford to go to those other events, or maybe you get invited. But there's that sort of hacking it in the middle that you could do, which is, get in touch with the conference producers, get in touch with the speaker and see. I get people all the time who give me some sort of sob story. I can't say yes to everybody, but I forward them on to the people who are running the front desk and say, hey, maybe this person can help. And it works if you show a genuine interest.
Sure.
Awesome. Well,
great, thank you.
It's great talking to you. And how long have you been listening to the show?
I think I started the second episode, but I caught up real quick. So
awesome. What do you like about the show? Is there any particular segment of the show that's your favorite?
Sure, it's good to hear the questions from fellow founders who are going through a lot of the same things.
Right.
That's the best part.
Awesome.
And I watch on my Apple TV. I kick back with a cold beer and watch on my couch. So
Apple TV. Very nice.
Yeah,
Very
there you
nice.
go.
Awesome. All right. Well, great talking to you, and keep listening. And what are you doing September 14th and 15th?
Nothing.
Can you be in San Francisco at that time?
I absolutely can. I'd love to.
Tyler, can we get him a ticket? And he can Twitter that Twist is the greatest show ever. You got a ticket to TechCrunch 50. Everybody should go to TechCrunch 50.
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you,
Great
Jason.
talking to you. Cheers. Bye.
You've been watching This Week in Startups. To watch the full episode, click here. To check out some other shows from This Week In, click here.